What's up, guys? It's Jensen and welcome to another video. So, as we all know, the New Orleans Pelicans, they're a young rising team, and I think that with Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, among others, this team is going to be very, very good next year. But I think that they have a chance to compete for an NBA championship if they can get their hands on the right superstar caliber player. And I think that player might be Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards. I do think the Wizards would consider trading him because they're pretty mediocre. They don't really have a way to improve the roster because they don't really have much cap space. And a large part of that is thanks to the John Wall deal, which we all knew was terrible at the time. And also, they don't really have any prime draft picks right now, unless they get some lottery luck, which is highly unlikely. So I do think that they'd consider trading Beal if they could get a haul back. And in that case, the Pelicans need to do it. I think an offer could look like something like adding Drew Holiday. As we all know, this dude is a coveted asset in the NBA. The Pelicans could have gotten a lot for Holiday during the trade deadline, but they chose to hold on to him. I do think that if the Wizards were to trade Beal, adding a guy like Holiday next to John Wall and Davis Bertans, if they really wanted to compete still, well, at the same time while getting some assets to rebuild, a guy like Drew Holiday would be perfect. They'd still be competitive, I'd say, with a guy like Drew Holiday. And if John Wall were able to turn it back and actually seem somewhat of his all-star self, I do think that that'd be very intriguing to the Wizards. Then maybe add a couple of young dudes like Nikhil Alexander-Walker, per se. This was an intriguing talent for sure. And I do think that he could turn into something in the NBA, maybe a potential starter. So if you're the Wizards, that'd be interesting perhaps. And if they had to add a guy like Lonzo Ball or Jackson Hayes, ideally you wouldn't want to, but when a guy like Bradley Beal is on the line, you don't really want to give up these guys necessarily. But I think you got to do what you got to do because it's Bradley Beal. I think that the Wizards would want a guy like Jackson Hayes more because he's a center. And the Wizards already have John Wall. I think they still believe in John Wall, so I don't think they'd want Lonzo. And even though Jackson Hayes is a nice fit next to Zion Williamson, or at least he's projected to be, I think this dude's a nice rim-running center. He can block shots. He's the entire package, in my opinion. He's everything you'd want in a rim-running center. I do think that he's a nice fit next to Zion. But if they can get Bradley Beal, they had to do that. And then give up multiple first-round picks. I think that if you're the Wizards, it's a win. You get a guy like Drew Holiday so you can stay competitive if you wanted to, or you can trade him for more assets. Or the other option is that you also have these first-round picks. You could trade for another superstar perhaps and get back into the conversation. Maybe a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns if he demands a trade from Minnesota. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So if you're the Wizards, it's a win. If you're the Pelicans, all of a sudden you have a starting lineup of Lonzo Ball, Bradley Beal, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Derek Favors, perhaps, if you want to slot him in at the center position, with J.J. Redick and Josh Hart coming off the bench. Like, that's a stacked lineup. I mean, my goodness, where's the weakness? Bradley Beal and Brandon Ingram are the two guys who can get the ball in the bucket off the dribble. Zion Williamson's the unselfish superstar who can get the second chance points. He is a force in the paint, as we all know. Lonzo Ball's a perfect point guard. He's going to be able to distribute to all these guys so they can get their fair share of touches. Derek Favors, he's a nice rim-running center. This dude, he's a solid shot blocker. He's a solid presence in the paint. J.J. Redick, he's a sniper from three, as we all know. Josh Hart is no joke either. This dude can put the ball in the bucket. So you got a really nice team, a team that would fit Alvin Gentry's style as they want to go very, very fast in terms of pace. I really do think that this team would be perfect. This team would have a chance to win an NBA championship. The lone thing you can say about this team is that they lack experience, perhaps, but that's why you have guys like Bradley Beal and J.J. Redick. These dudes are battle-tested. Bradley Beal, even though he's never been to an Eastern Conference Finals, he's been to the playoffs multiple times. I do think that this team would be in the conversation for an NBA Finals, and I do think that they'd have a chance to win an NBA championship, even with the second-year Zion. So if you're the Pelicans, if the Wizards want to trade that Bradley Beal, that's a no-brainer. You got to do it, in my opinion. You can't pass it up. It's New Orleans, so you're not really signing a guy like, you know, AD perhaps this offseason. I mean, that would be awkward, but nevertheless, you're not signing an all-star player is what I'm trying to say. So you got to trade for a guy. Bradley Beal, perfect fit in my opinion. It works for all sides. It's got to be done if it can be done. That's all I have to say, though. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be providing more NFL and NBA hot takes as the season goes on, and have a good day. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports. See y'all later.